Welcome, this isn't a Indipac update this time, but rather a tutorial on how you can pick your drivetrain setup for your next adventure race. If you're Mike Hall and you can push a 1125 cassette with a 5239 chainring setup on the front, then you are doing pretty well. But if, like me, you need a little bit more help up the hills, stay tuned and I'm going to explain how just to achieve this. So this is your typical off-the-shelf bike from your bike shop. This came with a 5236 chainring setup at the front and an 1128 cassette at the back. And this is my bike and I just find it too much hard work getting up some steep gradients. Some of the gradients near I live can reach 26% in places, and it's really hard work with the 36 tube chainring and the 32 cog in the cassette to get up those hills. So the first and easiest thing to address, you would think, is the cassette. Now if you increase that 11:28 ratio to an 11:32, it's going to make life an awful lot easier. But it's not as simple as just slapping a bigger cassette on the back or smaller chainrings on the front, and here is why. The immediate thing to consider when changing your cassette is the capacity of the rear derailleur. I'm running a Shimano 105 short cage derailleur currently, and the capacity of this derailleur is 33. You can check your rear derailleur capacity by going to the supplier homepage and looking for the total capacity. So now we know what we're working with. We need to take a look at what our current capacity is and see if we can nudge it a little bit more. And we do that just like this. So we take our front chainrings. I run a 5236 chainring setup on the front. If you minus the small chainring from the big chainring, in this case it is 16, we'll do the same with the cassette. We'll take the smallest cog on the cassette and the biggest cog and subtract the two. So I run an 1128, so the difference between these two is of course 17. And then simply if you add these two figures together, our total will be 33. So our derailleur is maxed out. Remember, our short cage can only go up to 33, so let's change things around now. Let's say we wanted to run 1132. Our difference on the cassette will be 21, and the difference on our chainring won't change, as you'll see in a moment, because we're going from a 52 to a 36 to a 50 to a 34. That's still a difference of 16, but we're just doing this for the general purpose of it. And so our total capacity now is 37. Now, do you think we can find a derailleur with a capacity that will take 37? Let's go and have a look. And what do you know, Shimano make a medium cage derailleur, and if we check, yep, it has a 37 tooth capacity. So let's do an internet search. Our first internet search yielded this from the Wiggle website, and yet if you check their spec, it says it will take a 32 teeth with a double chain set on the front. So Shimano 105 11-speed medium cage derailleur has a 37 tooth capacity, and that is exactly what we need. So we've got our cassette. Now we're going to have a look at chainrings. So you need to know what your setup is first. So I run FSA crankset, so I'm going to get FSA chainrings. You have a choice of 5-bolt or 4-bolt. I know mine is a 5-bolt. The second thing you need to check is the BCD. This is the distance between one bolt and the next. Typically it's either 130 or 110. I know that mine is 110 because I checked and it says so on my bike. So now we're going to have a look and see exactly what is for us. So we only really have two choices here in the 110 BCD configuration. We've got Pro chainrings or Super type chainrings. Looking at the Pro chainrings, this is what we get told. I'm not going to read it to you, but it is available in a 50-34 configuration, which is what we want. And so we'll just check the super type chainrings and see what's going on here. So what I found was the text on this page and the spec is exactly the same as the last set of chainrings we checked, and they are available in a 52-34 configuration. So the only thing that I can see is the actual aesthetic of them, and I like these ones, so I'm going to go with the super type chainrings. So all that's left to do now is do a little bit of shopping. So I did my Google search for my FSA Pro Road Shimano chainrings, and here they are. It took me to tweakscycles.com. Not sponsored or anything, this is just where I landed. They had the best prices. So I'm going to go ahead and pick out the 50 big chainring and the 34 inner chainring. And my basket for those comes to £67.99 with a little bit of discount. Free shipping because we're going to go second class, we can wait that long. Likewise, we'll do a Google search for a medium cage 105 rear derailleur. And this time Wiggle have come out on top, so we're going to head on over there and see what they can do for us. Here we are. They have our medium cage in black, and it's going to cost us £27.99, so we're going to hit that up. And the whole reason we started this mission in the first place is because we wanted a bigger cassette, so we're going to hit up SRAM and Shimano and see what they have for us. And I found this one, a Shimano 105 5800 11-speed cassette. We're going to pick the 1132. One last job and we're done. We need a chain. I've already picked one out, but this little window popped up offering me some help, so let's just see what this guy at Wiggle can recommend me. And what do you know, he's recommended the exact chain that I picked out for myself. It's the Shimano Ultegra 6800 11-speed chain, which is going to fit my cassette and my drivetrain. So here's our Wiggle basket, £80.47. And our Tweaks shopping basket comes to £67.98, so total spent £148.45. Thank you very much for watching my video. I hope you learned as much as I did. Join me next week or as soon as these products arrive with me, and I'm going to do an install video for this drivetrain setup on my bike.